And so, speaking of the Edmonton Oilers being swept in 4 games, I mean, the team that did it, the Winnipeg Jets, they went on and they got swept by the Montreal Canadiens. I have a hard time deciding whether or not that should be a bitter pill to swallow. You know, in a lot of sports, one thing that people will say is that if you are going to be eliminated, like in a tournament type scenario, and that's basically what the Stanley Cup playoffs are, they're a big tournament. But if you're going to be eliminated from that kind of scenario, you don't want to lose to just anybody. Optimally, you want to lose to the team that goes on to win it all. So the Winnipeg Jets, they're not going to do that, obviously, at this stage. It's a tough call whether or not the Montreal Canadiens still can. Apparently, former Edmonton Oiler Jeff Petrie is injured pretty badly. But I know that there was one thing that really that I did enjoy about this elimination quite a bit, and that actually goes back to Game 1. When Mark Scheifele, took that vicious charging run at that member of the Montreal Canadiens, Evans, and pretty much just, Evans was completing a wraparound score attempt, on an empty net. Because the game pretty much was over at that point, but Mark Scheifele, he just couldn't accept that for what it was. He decided that he had to basically put Evans not only out of that game, but out of the next few games. As a matter of fact, I don't remember if Evans has actually been back into a game since then. But then again, neither has Mark Scheifele, because he immediately drew a 4-game suspension from the NHL, a suspension that a lot of people really thought should have been longer. And I was kind of torn on exactly how I wanted to see that whole thing work out. I honestly couldn't decide if I wanted to see the Jets get swept at that particular point, or if I'd like to see them actually go to like a Game 6, so that Mark Scheifele could actually be on the ice, when his team gets eliminated. As it stands right now, he does have 1 game remaining to serve, so pretty much no matter what, he will not be in the Winnipeg Jets opener next season. And after what he did, honestly, he doesn't deserve to be. A lot of people thought that a 4-game suspension was far, far, far too little, and actually I agree. But the one person that didn't agree, and maybe this should be predictable, was Mark Scheifele didn't agree. And so after his team was eliminated in 4 games, he got sitting down with members of the media again, and it seems like this is always a problem for Mark Scheifele. Like every time that there is any kind of controversy surrounding him, and he sits down with the media, he always says these incredibly tone-deaf and just foolish, like just ridiculous things. And this time, what he actually complained about was he said that, he thought that maybe the Montreal Canadiens were going to have to shut him down, and he complained that instead it was it was the Department of Player Safety that shut me down. To which, really, I can only say, yeah. Yes, they did. And really, after what you did on the ice, did you really expect any differently? Do you really think, Mark Scheifele, that you should have been able to do that and walk away clean? Because if he actually thought that, I've actually had my criticisms of Mark Scheifele over this particular season. And a lot of Winnipeg Jets fans, they haven't liked it. I've criticized him for the way that he drove Patrick Laine out of Winnipeg. A lot of Jets fans didn't like that. I criticized him for the way that he responded when his coach justifiably benched him after he just blatantly dogged it in a 4-on-4 situation in a game that wound up giving up a goal. Not only did he dog it, but he refused to do a line change so that somebody who actually wanted to play and work in that situation could get on the ice and either prevent that goal or score one of their own. And I imagine probably a lot of Jets fans, I imagine a lot of them probably didn't care for that very much either. But I think that if there was any doubt in anybody's mind that Mark Scheifele is that he's a toxic and entitled player, his actions in Game 1 of that Winnipeg-Montreal series They speak loud and clear. They confirm that. So I'm sure that a lot of Jets fans, they're not going to like it when I say this again today. But quite frankly, I think that that Mark Scheifele, he needs to get his head sorted out. I don't think it's going to happen on his own. I think that the Winnipeg Jets management, they might need to actually take a stronger stance with him than the Department of Player Safety did. And they might tell him, it's like, well, you know, like we would rather play without you if this is your attitude than to play with you with this attitude. And so we're going to extend your suspension by a couple of games. Maybe at that point, Mark Scheifele will actually get the message, because he certainly hasn't been getting it otherwise. I mean, not being in the Winnipeg Jets locker room, there are not really a whole lot of people out there outside of the players, the coaching staff, the Jets management, who really know exactly how much Paul Maurice has tried with Mark Scheifele, you know, what he's tried and what he hasn't, what remains that could be tried. The simple fact of the matter is that whatever it is that has been tried, it's not working. He doesn't seem to be responding to it, and as a matter of fact, you know, even when he's justifiably benched during a game, he's complaining. When he's justifiably, you know, obligatorily suspended during the playoffs, he's out there complaining. It's pretty obvious that stronger measures are needed. And I think that the Winnipeg Jets, one way or the other, unless they can find themselves a way to actually get rid of him and get something back for him, they are going to find, I think they're going to find that they are going to need to do something sooner rather than later. Whatever that is up to them. You know, I'm not their general manager. I'm not really interested in being an armchair GM of the Winnipeg Jets. But there can be absolutely no doubt that something there does need to give.